Hello, folks. Welcome to Nateland podcast here with Brian Bates, Aaron Weber. So we want to also wish you Merry Christmas. It's coming up. Graham K, Happy Boxing Day. It's and all the other Canadians, and then all the other stuff people have. I don't know what else everybody has, but they have other stuff. Celebrate it. Merry Christmas. We love you all. Yes. You already know DraftKings Sportsbook is an official sports betting partner of the NBA. Now is the time to get in on the action. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now. Use promo code Nateland. Bet just $5 on any NBA team and win $150 in free bets if they are victorious. Also, I am excited to have been introduced to Athletic Greens recently. I had it today. Life is busy and your well-being is important. Get Athletic Greens. Makes it easy to get the vitamins you need every day with just one scoop. Athletic Greens is giving you a free 1-year supply of immune-supporting vitamin D and 5 free travel packs with your first purchase. Visit athleticgreens.com/Nate for a free 1-year supply of vitamin D and 5 free travel packs with your first purchase. That is athleticgreens.com/Nate. Also, managing money can be hard and juggling subscriptions even harder. You forget about them. Never pay for an unwanted subscription again with Truebill. Go to truebill.com/Nate. It could save you thousands a year. And finally, thank you to Viore for sponsoring this episode of Nateland. We all got some of the new fall collection, and we are loving it. Get yourself some of the most comfortable and versatile clothing on the planet at VioreClothing.com/Nate. Not only will you receive 20% off your first purchase, but enjoy free shipping on any U.S. orders over $75. More on that later. And here we are, everybody. Welcome. Usual. My voice is awful. It's gone. Is it gone? Sounds like.
It's not the best it's ever been.
It's not the best it's ever been.
Been yelling?
Huh? I don't know. It's been everywhere.
You screaming at the fight.
Screaming at the fight. Went to the UFC fight this weekend. We were in Vegas. I think it just caught up. It's been on the road nonstop, doing a lot of shows. I went to bed last night. I don't ever fall. Like, I never just fall asleep. Like, I never just, like, nod off. I mean, maybe. I don't know if I ever do, really. I don't know. I'm just never been to someone that nods off. Harper's the same way now. She doesn't ever just. Harper's never, like, I remember going to the one Vandy game. The only game I saw Darius Garland when I went to see him. They played LSU, and so me and Harper went, and she was probably like 5 or 6. And all we did was end up. She would want to go to the top and then the bottom. So I mean, I watched some of the game, and I was telling her, I was like, "This is one of the best Vandy players we've ever had," like about Darius Garland. And then she'd be like, "Let's go to the top," and then we'd go sit on the very top and stuff. But I remember that night she fell asleep on me. Like, I carried her inside, and like we were just sitting on the chair, and she fell asleep. And I was like, "Huh?" It was like she just doesn't do that, and I don't either. But last night, I was like watching TV. It's pretty excited. It's like 11:30, and I mean, I was like, let me just close my eyes. And then it was like 12:30, and then I just went straight to bed. And I mean, I was out.
Yeah,
I have been pretty tired.
Age is catching up with you.
Huh? Yeah. Well, it's been a run. We went to Vegas this weekend, and we did. The shows were awesome. My dad and Nick were out there. And then we had a bunch of buddies come out there. I got a golf rich day. We always talk about here, Finale. And so it was just a fun weekend. And then it just added up. And then here you are. UFC fight was unreal. Dude. So fun, dude.
Was that your first one you've been to?
I went to one in Nashville, but I've never been to a big one. I mean, so the one we went in Nashville when they did it here, it wasn't. It was like, I don't know if I really knew anybody on the card or anything like that. But this was the first like big one. Yeah. And it's just so fun, dude. UFC is moving there. It's my favorite sport. I just like it so much. They have just such big fights, and you kind of know them, and it's these guys are just on another level. I mean, the women fights, Amanda Nunes, she lost. It was a big deal because she's like considered the best ever.
Right.
And for her to lose, it's the biggest upset in UFC history, or like top two maybe. So to be there for that, and I just love how they do really good with women sports. I think a lot of sports have trouble with women's sports, and UFC tennis does a really good job, and then with this women's soccer, I guess the Olympic soccer team, but then UFC, I mean, they headline events, and you're just like, I mean, I was like, it was like awesome to get to go to see that fight, and now, so the whole thing was awesome. Got a hat. Was with Nick. Nick talks to everybody. It's just me. We had to split up. We had a bunch of us come, and so Laura and her friend, and they sat in 4 seats, and me and Nick sat in 2 seats. And I mean, Nick got after it, and then he talks to everybody. I mean, he's just talking to everybody around us. But it was fun. Everybody's yelling. It's an awesome experience. And you're close.
And did I see you guys ring the bell at the hockey game?
Yeah. So they had me go. So I went to Vegas Wednesday, and then we went to the hockey game, and they ring a siren for the Vegas Knights to start the third period. And so you go up at the very top, and there's a castle, and you hold it and you ring it, and then and Nick. I just had Nick. I was like, "Can Nick come with me?" And they go, "Yeah." And Nick was up there, and he was just dancing the whole time. Like, it was very cool. And the whole experience was super fun. And Nick and my dad hung out a lot because I was golfing the other day. So him and my dad went, and they went to the hot tub one day. And they go to the hot tub. Nick gets out of the hot tub, puts his towel, throws his towel in the thing, and my dad's like, "That's the trash can." And so Nick all weekend has been throwing his towels in the trash can, thinking it was the towel thing. I mean, every day, all weekend, multiple tags, because he likes the water.
Yeah.
So he goes a few times a day and just gets out of the hot tub, dumps it in the trash can, and gets on his way. And they just had to. So if the win in Vegas is wondering where some towels have gone, it is Nick Novicki, and he is throwing them all in the trash can. So it was a awesome weekend. And so now we get to chill out for a second.
Yeah.
I don't think start till January. Yeah. Start back up January 12th, I think. Yeah.
I had some company Christmas parties in North Carolina and Kentucky, and I was flying home on Delta, and of course they have the TV screens in the back of the seats. And I'm in the aisle seat. I just assumed that they edited those shows for content.
Yeah.
On a public.
I thought they did too.
I choose an episode of The Sopranos.
Yeah.
And there's a scene at the strip club, women just completely naked. And I'm in the aisle seat, so everyone behind me can just see everything. There's kids back there, there's everything.
Yeah.
And I'm just sitting there thinking, what do I do? What do I try to make a scene? Those screens aren't as intuitive as a phone. Like you can't quickly stop. The woman beside me is watching a Hallmark Christmas movie. And I decided just to write it out and not bring attention to me. The scene went on forever.
Yeah.
The girl walks off the stage, comes over to Tony and the guys, and he's just got his arm around her.
Yeah.
It's a really, really long scene.
Yeah.
And I was just shocked that they allow that on a plane.
This is on the back of the headrest of the guy in front of you?
Yeah.
Just out in the open.
Just out in the open. You should ask the Hallmark lady to switch seats. He said, "Do you mind? Would you mind if I sit in the middle because I'm watching some stuff that is inappropriate?" I'm right, and so I just feel like a good middle seat is for me. I need to be.
I really need the window seat.
I need to be contained. I think I turned it off or fast forwarded.
I was sitting there debating like, this thing can't be that long, and it just kept going.
Yeah.
It kept going. And it was the one where for the soccer coach, they got him like one of the girls or something. The scene would never stop.
Yeah. You describing this scene's not stopping either. I mean, I think we all get it. And you're like, no, let me get into it.
Let me tell you a little bit more.
Let me tell you a little bit more.
You say the word naked the way I hoped you would.
Naked.
Too. Yeah.
Naked.
Yeah, I know it.
Stark naked.
They were
Stark
nude.
naked.
They were nude.
Yeah, naked's real. Real Southern.
Yeah.
Yeah, that I don't know what you do. I mean, you try. I've seen just violence on it where you're like, you feel uncomfortable. You're like, I don't like this. There's too many people can see this.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't. Yeah, I don't know what I just don't watch that. Watch a whole scene of you just trying to watch an episode. How long was the flight?
I mean, it was a pretty short flight. I don't know. It was like an hour or something.
Did you get to watch the whole episode?
Yeah.
Oh, but great if you want to watch. Then they're like, you start landing, and then you're like, so there's no reason for me to even watch. I can't even enjoy the whole episode.
If I'd have tried to stop it, I would have somehow rewound it. It would just kept playing over and over.
Yeah,
the same scene.
You should start stretching. Just start stretching and just like, like block it.
Should have been like,
yeah.
Hey, you seen The Sopranos?
See this? Yeah.
One of the best shows of all time.
One's the best show. What are you watching? Hallmark? Loser. Yeah, I don't know. What'd you?
I fly Southwest. So I don't have the luxury of a screen.
Well, keep working hard, kid.
I'll get to Delta eventually.
Southwest lets you watch. You watch on your iPad though.
Yeah, you can watch on your phone.
Mm-hmm.
So you can do that.
I bring an iPad.
No, I don't have an iPad.
Oh yeah,
I'll get there one day.
I don't watch stuff on. I think your generation's fine watching on your phone. I don't think y'all need a big screen.
I think you're right about that.
I think you're just so used to watching on your phone that like you don't even think about bringing a screen. You're like, I just watch on my phone.
Mm-hmm.
I like to have it.
But if you bring the phone close to your face, that's the same as watching it on a big TV. That's far
that means
away.
You gotta hold it.
You gotta hold it like
you
Nick.
Look like Nick. Yeah, you look like Nick trying to read and just being like. Nick said he got a bunch of doctor advice.
Oh yeah,
yeah,
oh yeah.
Is he gonna look into it at all?
Yeah. I mean, I think he was gonna try to reach out to some of them, but I mean, they might be right. His guy might be right.
Oh yeah, they all said that.
Yeah. Like he's just
you can't glasses aren't going to do it because your cornea has changed shape. So he needs either those hard contact lenses or a cornea transplant.
Him putting in contact lenses, I just don't know if I like that. It's just I mean, I'm going to be a wreck until like just knowing he's doing that every day.
Uh-huh.
I just don't know. You have to take them out. I don't understand what hard is. Are they hard?
Yeah, I mean they're when I didn't even know they still had hard contact lenses. I thought they were just all soft now. But when I first started wearing contacts, you had the option of hard or soft lenses.
You wear contacts now?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Is hard? Yeah. Do you have glasses too?
Yeah.
Just in case.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Yep. A lot of people diagnosed you as well. Yes, I do have glasses. A lot of people diagnosed your dehydration and
I saw one email. Are we reading any of them or no?
No, there's not any on here.
Type 2 diabetes.
Somebody said, pre-diabetic. And I just want to say how great it would be.
Yeah.
All the gout.
If Nate got diabetes before me.
Yeah. You'd wish it.
Look how far we've come.
Yeah.
Not even type 1, type 2. You just jumped right to that.
I get it. Type 1 was a breeze. I was born with type 1. Yeah. I got that. I can get that in my sleep.
You moved up to type 2.
If I do things, I do them real. I do them big. Go big or go home. Yeah, my dad has diabetes. So I don't know if I I got to go get it tested. I mean, I've thought about it every day since then. So I think I have another physical coming up, and I'm going to just be like, do I got to tell the doctor? So some people that I don't know all say they think I look like a guy that has type 2 diabetes. So can y'all check that out if you don't mind? I don't they're like, why would you want to do that? Mm-hmm. A lot of people.
I'm going to say you don't. I don't think they realize just how little water you drink.
I know, but
you're going to be dehydrated if you never drink water.
But I've been drinking more now since then. I mean, I don't get it as much, but it's like it just felt like it.
But are you still dehydrated?
I still get very dry mouth. I still, and I mean, I've been pounding some water.
Yeah.
It could be eating. Dude, I had ice cream last night. A ton of it.
There's water in ice cream.
That's true.
I always have to tell myself that. There's probably a lot of water in the food I ate today.
You get it from like candy and stuff? Is that how you get diabetes?
I thought you meant water.
Yeah. No.
You just suck on it.
You just get it from bad eating?
I don't know. I think it certainly contributes all the sugar.
Yeah. Doesn't help.
Yeah.
I think that's the difference in the types, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
One of them's a genetic, and one of them's
One
you earn it.
one you earn it.
Yeah. Type 2's earned.
Type 2, you put in the work.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. It's an honor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is there
I
a
don't-
type 3?
Oh man, I'll
you could
find
do it,
out. Yeah,
you could be the first.
You could get there, man.
Yeah. I mean, you have to do like all the shots and stuff if I do it, right?
Is that what your dad does?
Yeah, but I don't know which one he has.
Oh.
I think he has one that you could get rid of. Like if he ate better and worked out, which seems like some of them. It's not like you're, because I mean, isn't Jay Cutler diabetic? I don't know if I'm throwing that on him, but let's say he is. I have no idea if he is, but so Jay Cutler is.
How far can you throw a football if you're
Yeah.
type 3 diabetic?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he has it. Type 1.
Type 1. So that's like your. We should ask him about that. That's like you're born with it.
Yeah.
That's like you have no choice.
You just ambush him with a diabetes interview when he got here. That'd be hilarious.
Yeah, easy. I mean, if it's type 2, it's like it's earned.
Mm-hmm.
So I got to get that. All right. Yeah.
Another
Deal
thing.
with that. Another thing, and the road's going to be fun. I'm going to be doing nothing on the road, like just be walking out. Was it a lot of type 2 diabetes too?
No.
Oh.
No, I think it was just.
Was there anything else?
It's more than one. Gout? No.
Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding. No.
Stroke.
Type 2 diabetes seems to definitely be.
It was the leader.
Yeah.
Okay. Good to know. We have a lot of listeners that have type 2 diabetes. I guess maybe we're having a meetup. They all know. Are there doctors? A lot of listeners, either doctors or they have it. Jeremy Hoffman. He has type 3 diabetes. Jeremy, I'm sorry. I don't know if that's not true. Jeremy Hoffman, a perfect representation of this podcast is when Nate introduced the topic of the universe and then mentioned he was nominated for the Critics' Choice Award and followed it up with a fun fact about Aaron never peeing on a plane, and everyone treated it like those three things were equally as relevant and interesting. Also, I'm pretty sure the airplane peeing conversation lasted 3 times longer than the award conversation. Unbelievable. That's true. I don't think I'm getting respect that I deserve for my Critics' Choice Award.
I think you were leading that conversation.
Yeah, I think y'all should have brought it up. I shouldn't have had to bring up my own award. That I think you should have been like, "Hey, man, congrats on the Critics' Choice Award."
I didn't even know about it, but I should have assumed.
You should have just assumed.
Yeah.
Any award.
Any award, I probably got it
In the running, at least.
in the running. I should be at least
Yeah, that's my bad.
be congratulated on.
Congrats,
The Golden Globes were announced today,
Mm-hmm.
so I should be announced.
Congratulations.
Thank you. They don't do stand-up comedy, but if they did, I'm sure we would have won it. So I will just put I probably would have won it.
The same people every time.
Same people. Guys won't get out of the way. Stephen Cersei. I let out an audible groan when I saw this week's topic, considering the guys had their minds blown by stoppage time in soccer the week before. Why not try to talk about everything ever created? We should.
Mm-hmm.
And
We
did.
could. We did. That was the universe. Oh,
Yeah.
that's what the universe.
Yeah, that's what he was referencing last week.
I thought he's talking about like cups and stuff, which we could do that. Universe and how pencils were made.
Yep.
How do we get from the universe to pencils?
Yeah. Wow.
That's what's crazy.
Wow.
You think about that?
Uh-huh.
They talk about that at Notre Dame. They go, well, you got the universe, and then I can write on a pen, on a paper.
There's a big bang, and then billions of years later,
You're writing on
there's
a
a
pen.
pencil.
Yeah. Why?
All made up of the same stuff
Yeah.
that stars are made out of.
Yeah.
Pretty crazy.
Yeah. It's crazy.
And we go, wow.
Wow.
And then that's it.
Well, it's too much to think about. I mean,
Mhm.
but
It's a little overwhelming.
I think about that a lot. Like it is crazy. You're like, we go from the universe being created to us to then, I pricked my finger, like I bit my tongue, and you're like, the universe was created, and now I'm here biting my tongue. Just how that's also in the mix of every.
It's part of the universe.
It's not the biggest problem, but it's a problem.
Mm-hmm.
Biting your tongue is a problem of the universe.
Yep.
It wouldn't be if listed probably. If they said, what can we do with the universe and problems of the universe? Biting your tongue, I think, would be at the bottom. It would be listed. But then they would be like, we got other stuff, like hunger and stuff like that. Type 2 diabetes we'd like to get rid of. Robert Vinny Lombardi. Ooh. One of my faves. Loved watching the train wreck of Nate, Aaron, Baller, and Mick struggle, discussing the vastness of our universe. I lost it when Nate said he wished they would just guess when it came to the Big Bang Theory. Theory is literally the definition of a guess. Then when Mick compared Elon Musk to God, I almost spit out my coffee. Keep up the great work, gents.
Is theory literally the definition of a guess?
No, I think scientifically, theory is a significant term. Like, you have to get there. So like a theory is basically like accepted fact. It's not just a guess out of nowhere.
That's back to my first joke I ever came up with. Educated guess is so educated. Why is it a guess? First thing I ever wrote down for stand-up comedy. That got me to here.
Really?
To writing a pen on this table in this podcast.
Wow, that was your big bang.
That was my big bang. My big bang was, if an educated guess so educated, why is it a guess? And I said it as I drove a car delivering pizzas as a second job to save money to move to Chicago. And I had a voice recorder. And I put that in there.
That's
I wouldn't forget it. I never forgot it. And it needs to be forgotten. Never really made it into something. That'll be my last. When you hear that joke as a closer, you know that I'm done with my stand-up career. That's how I'm going to end it out. Goodbye, folks.
But I admire you for sticking to your guns, because 18 years later, I feel like you still feel exactly the same about that, right?
I think I've proven it.
Yeah.
I think Robert Vinny Lombardi. I mean, is that?
I think if your last name's Lombardi, you have to at least name your kid Vinny.
His middle name.
Vince.
I wonder if he
You
is.
got to get though a Vince in there, right?
I know, but what if he's related to Lombardi?
I don't think it's a common name. There's a good chance.
There's a great chance of that. Maybe it's him. Angie Wilkinson. She's probably related to a lot of people. The Wilkinson family. Tell you, what have they done for us, you know? I don't know. I'm sure some Wilkinsons have done quite a few things.
Probably.
Great episode. Bless Nate's heart, trying to talk about the universe. Also, Aaron's self-control, not always correct him, is to be commended. She was very nice to Wilkinson. Sorry, Angie. Yeah.
Good job, Aaron.
Hey, thanks, man.
You didn't even know what you're talking about.
I have no idea what I'm talking about. No.
See, that's my problem, is you educated people think you know. I've been thinking about that a lot. Like, I'm just not educated in, I don't know. It's like the big words thing I said. Y'all use just big words so we can't be in the conversation, even though we should be allowed to be. And you should have to use words that are not as big.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, that's what I think y'all do.
We talked about this before, that the beef between, I think it was William Faulkner and Hemingway. Maybe it was Hemingway. They had this argument back and forth, and one of they would write articles about each other in newspapers, just trashing each other.
Yeah.
And Faulkner says, well, you know, he's never been known to use a word that would send readers to a dictionary.
Yeah.
Like, that was a big insult. And the other guy came back with, do you really think big emotions come from big words?
Oh, wow.
And I was like, hit him
Boom.
right there.
Boom.
I think about that a lot.
Boom.
Yeah.
Think about that on a stage sometimes.
Yeah.
Sometimes the smaller word hits a little harder.
Yeah. Yeah, because it gets to the point. When people use big words, it feels in comedy sometimes, it feels like it doesn't fit what we're doing. Like, you're trying to make, you're trying to be funny. And so sometimes if someone uses a big word, it's like, you're like dressing up, what is that saying? You're dressing up a cow? I don't know.
Lipstick on a pig?
Lipstick on a pig. But a cow would be the same thing.
Yeah.
Putting a dress, what are you putting a dress on a cow? I don't know why that should be the saying.
That's way better.
That's way better. Lipstick on a pig. That's ridiculous. When you getting a cow, getting a rooster, something, keep
Tuxedo?
going. I don't know. Yeah. You know, you put a bracelet on a coconut. Taylor Lavelle. Nate was totally right about the sun being 8 light minutes away. Light second is the distance light goes in a second, light year, a year, and so on. There you go.
You're right.
I was right.
I apologize, man.
Yeah.
I just never heard light minute before, and it caught me off guard.
Because y'all don't get into the nit and gritty in Notre Dame. Y'all brush over it. You're like, this is just enough. So when you talk to dumb people, you can get out of the conversation. You just hear some big words. That's what college is.
Right.
College goes, here's some big words. Use them when you have to, when you get up against like a common folk. And then they're like, they
and don't give them a chance to pick it apart like you did.
Yeah, don't let them question it.
Mm-hmm.
And so here's, so you just keep saying the same thing over and over, but in big words, and then they walk away.
Someone compared y'all to Michael Scott and Oscar when they debated about China.
Oh, yeah.
And Michael, he won, right?
Yeah.
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 We got it
Came
right.
from a different angle.
Yeah. 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 Laura Wagner. It's a good name.
Mm-hmm.
Guys, whenever you ask, how can they know that? The answer is almost always math. Huh. Just because you may not understand it does not mean it's not real. It's real. It's science and not just someone's opinion. Still a huge fan, even though this part bugs me a lot. I disagree, Laura. It's science.
I learned how they calculate how many stars are in the universe.
How's that?
Math. They took a picture of one small section of the sky, and then they counted all the galaxies that are in that one section. Then they figured out how many sections are in the sky total, and they multiplied that by that. Then they figured out how many stars was in one galaxy, and then they multiplied that by that, and that's how they came up with it.
But I mean, but that would assume that everyone's the same.
Yes.
So if everyone's not the same, then you could be completely off.
Yeah, they're making some
So they're making
dangerous assumptions.
an estimation.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it's still it's someone's opinion, but it's like he's like, I put in the work. His opinion would be, y'all didn't look it up.
Yeah.
I at least am trying.
Right. It's an educated opinion.
And then so you go, all right, man. Well, I should listen to his opinion because I'm not going to bother with it. So that's true. So Laura's right.
Yeah, Laura's right.
I should be like, it's okay. Yeah. Unless I want to get into it.
Right.
But so if I look at one star in my circle, put a hand and go, there's 5 stars in there. And then I go, so there's probably
How many circles?
How many circles can I
all
make?
around? A lot, yeah.
A lot. It'd be the same thing. And then I just would say it like that. Dave Josie. If time travel exists in the future, then technically it would exist now. That's true.
Now, is he saying because they'd already come back?
They'd come back.
But if you can only go in the future, then maybe we just haven't gotten advanced enough yet. Right?
Well, saying it would exist now, but I mean, how do they get back? You got to trust that they can get back. You don't want to come here and get stuck. I think you would get stuck. You would go back to a time and then be.
Who, me personally?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but I wouldn't go back that far, so I'd be all right. I'd go back to the West Wilson County Fair, like you said. So I'd be perfectly happy just to stay.
I know, but then you got to find. Oh yeah, you'd go back to live in that time.
Yeah, there'd be 2 of me there now, I guess.
Yeah.
But we just both share a room.
Yeah, yeah. You definitely. I mean, you would definitely go talk to yourself.
I would say look up Keeps.
Yeah.
Get ahead of this.
Keeps.com. You would definitely talk to yourself. Like if they tell you not to talk to yourself, but I mean, I think you would have a hard time not.
Because it would ruin it. It changes everything.
Yeah.
You're supposed to not change anything about the future. But yeah, I would.
But I think you would be.
Oh yeah, I need a friend.
Yeah. 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 And I don't think anything would change. I think it would all. I think even if you talk to yourself, I think it would all. You'd end up buying PSLs at the Titans right when they got here. You'd still be going to the games.
We'd sit together.
You'd sit together. You'd maybe go, let's sit on, you had the same row of seats, but maybe just in the sun part. You'd go, yeah, I know this sounds crazy, but the sun sets. Are you in the sun part now?
No, I just talked about that at the game yesterday,
Yeah.
how it's so important to have the sun at your back. Even with as cold as it was yesterday, I'd rather be in the shade than the sun just glaring in your face.
Oh, you'd rather be in the shade.
Yeah.
Oh.
Because the early season games are so hot, first
Yeah.
of all. And then even in the wintertime, the sun's just so glaring right now. I've sat on that other side, and
Yeah.
you're just squinting the whole time.
Yeah. What about sunglasses?
Even sunglasses, it's
Hat,
not ideal.
sunglasses. You know,
Just don't see the field.
It's because
Just
you
do
wear
this the whole time.
you like put your hat on like this, and you're like, God, this hat just doesn't do it. It never does it for me. It just goes. Yeah, that's why you don't like a hat.
Yeah. Back of my neck's always fine.
Watch the game. Yeah. This sun, you're like, well, just yank it down a little bit. Oh.
I remember at the beach growing up, my dad put sunscreen on. He'd just slap it on, wouldn't rub it in at all, and then he'd jump right in the water and just get burned. He'd be like, this stuff never works.
Yeah,
dude.
yeah,
You're, like,
yeah.
you're not quite doing it.
You're not rubbing it in.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. I saw you. Some people took some pictures with you at the.
Yeah. People came.
Oh, they came all the way up there.
Yeah, that was
Oh,
my
'cause you
section.
told
That was my seat.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they would be out of breath, and as soon as they
Yeah.
compose themselves, we did a picture.
Can you imagine if you go, we're about to go see our favorite comedian. You're like, where is he? What? We'll see you.
Yeah.
We'll see you second half. All right.
Is he on the field?
Yeah.
We're gonna have to miss a great
Yeah.
portion of the game, but
He's sitting over at the Vanderbilt Stadium. They go to get a. That's so funny. They have to hike up there.
yeah. Nah, I mean, there's a lot of people up in my section.
No, you.
No, I'm saying it's not like I'm the only one up there. The upper deck's a huge area.
No, I know, but I'm saying everybody that wants a picture with you, they don't
None of
seem
them
to
sit
be
up
up
there?
there. Yeah, I don't think we have. I don't think our listeners are in the upper deck.
You think they're a little bit?
I think
doing better
our co-hosts are, but I don't think our. I think our listeners.
Yeah.
Could you have the worst seats of everybody in the Nateland world of a game?
Yeah.
Maybe. I like it. Matt McCurry. Oh man. Will someone please explain to Nate that there's a huge difference between stating UFOs exist versus stating that aliens are flying around in space? He's still claiming aliens are here now as if the government declared the existence of little green men. How has no one pointed this out yet? Give him the breakdown, Barnaby.
Yeah, you do say that they're here now, right?
I don't know.
They're saying they're
Probably.
here.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, they've seen some things flying around. They haven't identified what they are yet, or at least haven't figured it out. So it might be a jump to say they're saying aliens are here now.
Yeah, they wouldn't tell us.
I'm not. Oh, because I'm saying that's what they are saying.
Yeah.
Oh, well, I mean, whatever. I meant, I don't get in the weeds of it. So, like, who wrote this? My wife? Is it Matt McCurry? Is that Laura? Is that her
It's
other
Laura's-
name? Like,
Laura's pen name.
yeah, just that. But that, I think they're still flying around. I mean, then you wouldn't have a conversation.
Right.
Yeah.
Some of it's for comedic effect.
Yeah, that Matt, we'd have no conversation, Matt. Well, they're here. Well, they're not technically here. Then let's move on, Matt, and let's go to the next thing. This is all made up of, I don't know anything. Bryce LK. It may be the findings of one scientist, but until a whole lot of other scientists do similar tests and experiments and find similar results, it doesn't mean anything. Now they say is kind of a wonky way to talk about most of these topics. Some people think is probably more accurate.
I try to do that when I share on here. But I usually say some scientists think, or some people think that blah blah blah. Some people think that they're aliens flying here, and
So you don't. And I say now they say.
Yeah, I don't know if they're talking about us, but I think they kind of nailed it. Now they say they're here.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think about those words at all. So when I say them, so people should know that there's no meaning behind. There's nothing behind it. I'm just saying stuff I've heard in conversation, just in life.
Yeah.
I think that's where I get there's no, when I say, you say they for a lot of well, they are talking there's nothing behind it.
Yeah.
I don't care. And I'm just saying it to get to the thing I want to talk about. But if we got, I don't use words correctly, everybody. I feel like some people are
Just learning that.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think they're like, no, he's saying it wrong. Yeah, dude, I don't know. I didn't go to school.
He said tier sharer.
I said, yeah.
Tier share.
I mean, I don't. Yeah, it's every day's I would if I could get these right, I would be getting so much. Let me get to the now they say and some people think. We're not even there. We're working on regular words. Civilization. We're not even there. So, Dave Bryan, I'm watching the Universe episode for the second time, and this is bugging me enough to have to write to you. Our sun does have a name. It's Sol, S-O-L. That's why we call it a solar system. Nowadays, planetary systems are referred to as star systems, not solar systems, because our sun is the only one called Sol. So really, we are the only solar system. And to get ahead of the next question, our moon has a name also. It's Luna, as in lunar eclipse.
All right, that's fair.
Yeah, why do we call it a sun then? So sun's not a name?
Soul's another word for sun. I think soul's the Latin word for it. But I said last week, or whenever this episode comes out, the Universe Part 1 episode, I said we have a name for the Milky Way galaxy and we have a name for Earth. We don't have a name for the solar system. And he's saying that is the name. Soul is a proper noun. So soul is the name. Everything else is the star system.
Yeah.
We're the solar system.
Yeah. Okay.
You don't agree with that?
I don't agree with Dave. I agree with you.
Okay.
I'm saying I don't know. I don't buy it.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Yeah.
You want to find out where Dave went to college? Gonna have a
I'll
little
find
argument?
it. Yeah, well, he and I will duke it out.
Yeah.
What's your beef?
Solar system. I don't know. I just don't buy it, dude. He didn't sell me on it.
So he's got to sell you on what he seems to be a fact.
Yeah.
I don't think it's I don't think you're
Who
buying
calls
something.
it soul?
I'm
like
not.
I'll
I'm not.
switch
Yeah,
seats.
I'm not buying what you're selling. How about that, Dave? No one calls it soul. Dave does. But
Soul is what you call a day on Mars,
Mhm.
right? That's a soul. You telling me they just named it what the sun is named? That doesn't seem very.
why is the
Intuitive?
sun not? So the sun is just what it is.
I think sun is the English word for
Maybe
soul,
the sun doesn't
right?
want to be referred
sun.
to.
Oh yeah, soul, soulless.
What if this is coming from the sun? And he thought, well, let me make up a name, Dave Bryan. And he's like, that's great. And the sun is like, I would like to be called Soul now. And so we should respect the sun's. The sun doesn't want to be called sun.
Doesn't want to be dimmed. Doesn't want
Doesn't
to
want
be.
to be called sun. Doesn't want to be dimmed. He's got a lot of problems. This seems the only way out. So Soul, the sun, made a name. I think Dave Bryan is the sun, is what I'm saying.
Sounds made up.
I think Matt McCurry is my wife,
I
and
think-
Dave Bryan is the son.
Elon Musk is God.
Yep. Bobby, the reason toilet water flows in the opposite direction in Australia is because the Coriolis. I just kind of went with sounds at the end of that. Coriolis effect, which is the atmosphere deflection differences of the northern and southern hemispheres due to the rotation of the earth. I mean, I quit thinking about that sentence after toilet water. It just started.
You were on board at first, probably with toilet water.
The reason toilet water flows, I was like in the car, and then I fell off the wagon, and the rest of it just. And by the time we got to the end of it, I think y'all were like, I don't know if Nate's even here. The reason toilet water flows in the opposite direction in Australia is because of the Coriolis. Is that it?
Mm-hmm.
Effect. What does Coriolis mean?
I don't know, but I think we were right. Different hemispheres.
Yeah, I think I said it was like something to do with gravitational force, which I guess it's not.
It's because of the Coriolis.
It's obviously
The atmospheric
Coriolis
deflection
thing.
difference.
But y'all in college, y'all have like a whole day talking about Coriolis. Like, do they ever go, here's what Coriolis means, or do they just use it and you're supposed to know what it means already? Like, when do you learn Coriolis?
Junior high?
Yeah, third, fourth grade.
Probably.
No. You learn that in a science class. That's not a word that's used anywhere else. So
And so they said Coriolis, and then you just remember it for the rest of
Or
your
there's
life.
a glossary in the back of the book. You look it up.
So you actually go look up that word.
Oh yeah, there's
So
a
that's what
glossary
I
right in
didn't
the
do.
back.
So I didn't do that.
You didn't do that.
I don't think I've ever looked at a glossary. I never knew you had to. I just assumed, well, that's a word I'm not supposed to know. That's what I thought. I think the books gave me, if I knew the word, I go, all right, I should know that word.
Mhm.
And if I don't know it, then I go, they don't want me to know it.
You would never read something, look it up in the dictionary right there.
No. I don't think I've ever had I've never walked anywhere with a dictionary.
I didn't mean you had one on you, but like if
I never brought it in somewhere. I did it like the way I audition for stuff when I audition for stuff and they're like, will you dress the part? And I go, no. If I get it, I'll dress it. If I became a scientist, I would have learned all this stuff. But if I'm not going to do it, then I don't. I don't need to know that.
Why
word.
waste your time?
Why wait? I have other stuff.
Yeah.
We would do some of the most ridiculous auditions back in the day for you.
Yeah, I'd go to Brian's house.
It's so funny to think about now. Why we didn't just buy like proper lighting or something.
We would go to his house and do. We'd get like a lamp. We'd have like everything set up on have 2 tables stacked on top of each other with a lamp. Take the shade off. Just trying to get it. I never got one of these.
You never really tried that hard either. I mean,
I could never memorize the lines, and so I would just tape up the script above the camera, and I would just be reading it. But the reason toilet water flows in the opposite direction in Australia, and I would just read it like that. And I was like, why am I not getting these? And then I got Brian reading on the other side, and they just hear, it may be the findings of one scientist. What's the reason the toilet water flows? Well, the reason toilet water flows in the opposite direction. They're like, what is this, dude? Like, who is just too, we sound so stupid. And I don't think we get stuff because of our accent. That's why
I don't get it.
I always because they don't, when you're down here in the South, you only got your buddies that you can ask to read these other lines. Well, I don't have somebody that can speak like they do in Hollywood. So mine's always, I had Michael Clay, I think, read one. He's like, well, the original man can't hear my sound. And then I'm over there. Well, we better not go over there then. It's just not, they don't, yeah, I think they're distracted. That hurt us.
Yeah.
What are you going to do? Brent McCoy. We see the Big Dipper and the Little Dipper in the summer. Then Orion's belt. Orions. I bet he would want Orion.
Yeah, you're right.
He's in space. Orion is like how I would say it.
Orion's, yeah, it's like an Irish
I think he
guy.
would go, I'm Orion. I'm literally, my belt's in space. I'm standing in outer space. So I should be called Orion. Doesn't that sound more of a space name?
Yeah, and less Irish.
Yeah, Orion.
Yeah. Orion's Steakhouse.
Then Orion's belt. I think that's wrong. I'm going to say Orion. Then Orion's belt in the winter. Australia is the opposite. They still see the Big Dipper and Orion's belt just as at opposite times of the year because of the rotation of the Earth around the sun and the different hemispheres. I don't think I did sun stuff in school. I just don't know. Why does this stuff not stick with me?
Well, that didn't even have anything to do with the sun. Stars.
I don't know. Was the sun even? It wasn't even mentioned in that. I got hung up on Orion's belt.
Last week I said when I was in Australia, you see different stars. Like you don't see the Big Dipper and stuff. And he's saying, no, you do. You do. It's just different types of years.
So we have the same space. We thought they have a different outer space.
Uh-huh.
Like we wanted to go down there. So we should go down there opposite if we want to see a different outer space. Or we still see that outer space.
We still see it. Just he's saying winter's summer there and summer's winter.
Yeah.
So
if we go out right now and look at it, we're looking at a whole. We won't see the Big Dipper.
We'd be looking at summer stars here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, we'll see Australia's stars. Like, do we call them and let them know everything's good?
How our stars doing?
Yeah. How our stars doing? They go, everything's good right now. How's the Big and Little Dipper going? He said, you're going. See them every night. All
Orion's belt, all good, dude.
Is Orion's belt good? He goes, yeah, it's doing good. We have Orion's belt down here. I go, yeah, we have Orion's. A little more important. How many free trial subscriptions end up costing you hundreds, if not thousands of dollars long after forgetting to cancel? Fight back against subscriptions with Truebill. Truebill is the new app that helps you identify and stop paying for subscriptions you do not need, want, or simply forgot about. On average, people save up to $720 a year with Truebill. That's a ton. I think people do this. I do it. You do. You do it. You have no idea you're subscribed to it. because companies make subscriptions hard to cancel. They do that. Truebill makes it incredibly simple. Just link your accounts and Truebill will cancel your unwanted subscriptions in one tap. And your Truebill concierge is there when you need them to cancel unwanted subscriptions, so you do not have to. Truebill found a subscription that Laura had signed up for, and so did I. So we were paying 2 times monthly. Oh, that's good. Yeah, they helped us, but we were both paying for it.
You learned that right now.
I'm learning it as we speak. I'm like, well, look at that. Truebill's helped us. It has over 2 million users and helped save them over $100 million. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Just $100 million of just money that everybody combined. We could all be putting that together and buying a spaceship to go see Orion's Belt. Like Jennifer B., who says, with your help, our family has saved $587 a year on unnecessary subscriptions. I really didn't understand how Truebill could help me until we decided to save for a very large home purchase, and they were short $587. I made that part up, but I would assume. But that's, you look at how to cut cost. That's like this is an easy way to just not pay for stuff. Do not fall for subscription scams. Start canceling today at truebill.com/Nate. Go right now, truebill.com/Nate. It could save you thousands a year. Truebill.com/Nate. Also, our next partner has a product I've started using every day. I started taking Athletic Greens because I do not eat the best. I might have type 2 diabetes. So I am trying to be more healthy and thought this would be a great way to start the morning. It is good. I had it today. I need all that vitamin stuff. And I don't even know what the vitamin stuff means. So you do this Athletic Greens and they're like, we got it. So it's 1 scoop of Athletic Greens. You're absorbing 75 high-quality vitamins, minerals, whole food sourced superfoods, probiotics, and adaptogens. Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
See, I don't know how to pronounce them, but I need them. They taste great. I had it. Today was great. It's just I do the 1 scoop of powder with water. It's that easy. It was in a jug. You just shake it. Yeah. It's easy to do. Easy to do on the road. Contains less than 1 gram of sugar. No, with high quality ingredients that your body GMOs, no nasty chemicals or artificial will actually absorb. Athletic Greens has over 7,000 5-star reviews recommended by professional athletes like myself. I threw that in there. Right now, it's time to reclaim your health and arm your immune system with convenient daily nutrition, especially heading into the flu and cold season. It is just 1 scoop in a cup of water every day. That is it. No need for a million different pills and supplements to look out for your health. To make it easy, Athletic Greens is going to give you free 1-year supply of immune-supporting vitamin D and 5 free travel packs with your first purchase. All you have to do is visit athleticgreens.com/Nate. Again, that is athleticgreens.com/Nate to take ownership over your health and pick up the ultimate daily nutritional insurance. DraftKings also. It is Christmas week, and DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NBA, has a gift that will certainly put you in the holiday spirit. New customers can bet just $5 on any NBA team and win $150 in free bets if they are victorious. It is a great way to put some extra jingle in your pocket. If Sportsbook is not available in your state yet, your Christmas can still be merry. Everyone can play for huge cash prizes with DraftKings Daily Fantasy Basketball Contest. DraftKings is giving all new customers a free shot at millions of dollars in total prizes with their first deposit. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now. Use promo code Nateland. Bet just $5 on any NBA team and win $150 in free bets if they are victorious. That is promo code Nateland this Christmas week at DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NBA. Must be 21 or older. New Jersey, Indiana, or Pennsylvania only. New customers only. Minimum $5 deposit and $1 wager required. 1 per customer. Restrictions apply. See DraftKings.com/sportsbook for details. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. And also go to download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now. Use promo code Nateland. Finally. Make sure we have it. Viore. I love Viore. I've been wearing it. I had it all on last night. Last night when I fell asleep early. You can wear this stuff, and I got up today and Wore it. We had something wrong with our shower. I turned the shower off. Wore my Viore to do that. Do everything. But I did sleep. I mean, I slept in last night. It's just so nice. It is time for holiday shopping. You will want your friends and family to be comfortable and stylish this year. So take a look at Viore. We got ourselves some new things for fall. Laura got the performance jogger with the halo hoodie, and she says that it's very soft. She wore it in Vegas all during the day, like all weekend. Looks great. I got a pair of performance joggers that I can wear anywhere. Brian and Aaron, y'all got a few
I
things.
got the joggers, man.
The joggers.
Love them.
Yep, wore it to the
Joggers
Titans
are-
game yesterday.
Ooh, look at that. Viore is a new outlook on performance apparel, perfect if you are sick and tired of traditional old workout gear. It is so comfortable you will want to wear it all the time. It can be used for just about any activity like running, training, yoga, but also great for lounging or weekend errands. Viore is an investment in your happiness. For our listeners, they are offering 20% off your first purchase. Get yourself some of the most comfortable and versatile clothing on the planet at VioreClothing.com/Nate. That is VUORI clothing.com/Nate. Not only will you receive 20% off your first purchase, but enjoy free shipping on any U.S. orders over $75 and free returns. Go to VioreClothing.com/Nate and discover the versatility of clothing, the versatility of Viore clothing. All right, everybody. I'm going to raise this seat up. I think I had it down for something, a Zoom. Now we're cooking.
It's a whole different vibe in here now.
It's up there.
It's a power move.
So yeah, we did Universe, 2 episodes of Universe. I wonder if people, the second one comes out this week, I guess, right?
Mhm.
So it's not out. I like it because people are like, man, they did 1, and then you're like, well, there's a second one.
No, a lot of people are like, these people are so dumb.
Yeah,
And guess what? There's another one coming.
You
yeah,
haven't even scratched the surface yet.
yeah. It was funny though.
Yeah, it was.
That's the point.
Yes.
Obviously.
When you watch this,
We're not scientists.
it's just trying to make you laugh.
Uh-huh.
That's all we want to do. Of course, I know nothing, and we're just trying to have a topic to talk about and try to make jokes. And even though we're listed in an educational podcast, we are educational.
Uh-huh.
You learned something.
Yeah.
You
for
learned
sure.
today it's Orion and not Orion.
Yeah, dummy.
You're right. I learn a lot. On here.
It's spelled Orion. Why would it
Right.
not be Orion?
Maybe it is, but I always heard it called Orion.
I
Yeah,
mean,
because y'all a bunch of doofuses don't know how to talk about the galaxy.
Well, I
like
learned
do.
that from somebody commented, I love it, the universe, and all your references are from movies, which is true. A lot of
yeah.
one of our commenters said that, like all our
Oh,
universe.
man, now I went too far down. I like to cross my legs underneath it, so I gotta get the right amount.
Mhm.
Did I go? This could be good. And I'm probably in the same spot I was in
Yeah, I think you are. You're right
Yeah.
back where you started.
Yeah.
Originally.
originally.
Mm.
Yeah.
Someone commented, very
journey.
funny, how all of our universe knowledge comes from sci-fi movies that we've seen, which is true. I mean, we had a lot of sci-fi.
That was a
references.
lot of it, yeah.
Orion's belt in Men in Black, the first one, that was a big part of the plot. I think was coming from Orion's belt. I think that's how I know it from Men in Black.
Yeah. I just think they got it wrong. It was
Yeah.
Orion's belt. And so that's why the movie was
Not
make-believe.
successful.
Yeah.
They only made 5 of them.
Yeah. That was my sister bought me Men in Black. They ever told the story like on Christmas one time. And I was 10 years older. I was 18, she was 8 or 9. And she didn't buy it. Like they got it. She was giving me as my Christmas present Men in Black the movie. And then she asked me before she gave it to me, she goes, is Men in Black your favorite movie? And then I said, I hated that movie. I don't even know why I said that. I like it. I don't even know why I said it because I was 18 and you're stupid and you're just dumb and you say dumb stuff.
Yeah.
And then she started crying and then she gave me it to me. Then I was like, well, it's my favorite movie I've ever watched. And then I changed. And so now it's my favorite movie.
Next to
I
Scream.
like it because it's the Scream and Men in Black.
Yeah.
Because Abigail got it to me when she was little. It was like there's so much stuff when you're 8. Like why would I ever say I hate that?
Yeah.
I don't even care about movies that much.
Uh-huh.
And you're like, why would I have this stance on Men to go, well, that's a dumb movie. Like I don't even,
Yeah, never say you hate something right before somebody gives you a gift.
Yeah.
Or,
Yeah.
they're
Well, I
they're
did
about
not
to hand
know-
Oh yeah, this wasn't
I
like
mean, it was-
Christmas morning or something.
It might have been.
She's holding your present.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, she told me already what it was. Maybe that was her fault. Maybe Abigail shouldn't have said anything. It was, it was just you think back about when you're 18. You're just so you can be mean. You can be, you say, and everybody's like that. And you're just, and then as the older you get, again, you just look and you go, what would why would I ever care in a million years about me? You just go, yeah, I like it. Or I don't know. You have no opinion on it. But last time I talked to her.
I was
So
gonna say, was this before or after you warned her about her plane going down in Mexico?
oh yeah, I did to that.
We talked about that on here. I forgot the details, but
I don't remember the detail. I don't remember it either. When you have a sister that's 10 years younger, you say a lot of some of it is to be funny. That was funny to do that. So, but now she works with us. So there'll be a lot more of that where that came from. Because now she's old enough. So now I can say, I might tell her what I really think about Men in Black. I might do it today. So
one of our most requested topics has been The Office.
Yeah, we should do it one time.
We all love The Office. I was going to ask you guys, were you on board out of the gate? It took me a little time because I loved the British version of The Office. I still do. I think it's great. Ricky Gervais. So when I started watching the American one, at first I was a little snobby. I was like, they're ruining it.
Right.
But obviously I changed on that. Now, I soon loved it.
No, I liked it from the, I like the British Office. I take that stuff always wrong. When someone says they like the British Office, I always take it like you like the regular one too. You're just trying to say something that
trying to sound smart.
You're trying to sound smart.
It's like saying you preferred the book to the movie.
Yes. Yeah. And I always just think like maybe it goes back to when like you're younger, and I take it like that though. So if someone says it, I'm like, I don't think you really care. I think you did. Like Michael Scott's unreal. Like he does a great job. Steve Carell, like he's so funny, and I could see maybe at the beginning you're like, but I would think you would be like, hey, I'm excited to see what they're gonna. And the British Office wasn't like it was this major hit. It was over there. How did we even see it? Because of
I bought the DVD. It was on BBC, and I don't know. I bought the DVD.
It was like, I would say most people didn't know about it. I don't know if I knew about it until the American Office.
Yeah, most people, that was the way it was.
And so then that's how they find out about it. And then they're like, well, I like the British one first. And you're like, well, at least either be honest with me and say you watched it in live as it was airing. Or tell me the truth and you found out about it afterwards and you're like, but the British still is so funny. Because the British is so funny. I like the regular Office over the British Office. There's more episodes.
A lot more. The British one was like 14 episodes or something like that.
Yeah.
And a 90-minute special. And the American one's over 200 episodes.
Wow.
Yeah. Which is my cup today. World's.
There it is.
So many people can compare you to Michael Scott. And every time now I watch an episode of The Office, there's something he'll say that reminds me so much of you.
The only sad part to that is this is my real life.
But he was loved.
But just understand, again, this is when everybody thinks I'm too hard on y'all. Or like, you're calling me maybe the dumbest character that's ever lived on television. And it's not like, oh, you remind me of him. It's like you're regular when you wake up in the morning, you're just that. You're dumb. And I'm not, and I am. I'm smart in my other ways.
Right.
Even his arguments are so, I just watched the one Women's Appreciation Day, and he's like, I can't remember exactly, but he's like, Women Appreciation Conference Room, 15 minutes. And Jim was like, how are you qualified to talk about women? He's like, oh, I don't know, James. I was born from a woman.
Yeah.
His arguments are just so like, just like you, just like, like, all right, well, technically, I guess. I don't know if that makes sense. But but the one I just watched was where there's the fire safety drill, and then they do the dummy where Dwight cuts and they said, you just destroyed a $3,500 and he goes, $5,300 for a dummy?
Yeah.
And they just look at him like, what? And they move on.
Yeah.
Michael Scott said that?
Yeah.
Yeah. So he's dyslexic too.
With numbers.
Yeah. Oh,
Which
yeah.
is I think we talked about it. It's a different term.
I know. I can't remember tell if I want to go figure out if I'm dyslexic.
It's like you're kind of crushing it with it right now. You know what I mean?
I know, but I don't want to say it. I
What-
think I am. I just think I am, and I'm not. I don't know if I am.
Yeah.
I probably have to be though.
I don't.
I could be just dumb.
They diagnose you with it.
They
And
go,
the
I don't.
test
What if
come
you're
back.
not anything? Like, I go to have diabetes. They go, you might as well have all of it. That's what they're going to tell me. Am I dyslexic? Just tell people you're a little bit of everything. You got a little sprinkle here, a little sprinkle. We can't even cure it because it's not even enough to be cured, but it's enough to affect your everyday life.
Mhm.
But I noticed you've been reading better. So
If I slow, but it's got to slow down.
yeah,
If I slow down and like really look at what I'm saying.
yeah.
But I do but I get long. All right.
Well, that's all right. I mean, is The Office your? Well, no, West Wing's your favorite show, but sitcom.
West was my favorite show, but The Office I probably watched the most. It's the most rewatchable show to me.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's more popular now than even when it went off.
Oh, has to be.
Because
Yeah.
it's just like Seinfeld. People just watch. They put it on. They just let it.
I don't
play.
know if it's more popular.
Then what?
Then
When it was
aired,
on, when it was aired, it was people were watching it.
I think the Netflix resurgence it's bigger than it ever was. I mean, it was the #1 show on Netflix. I mean, I saw some stat. It was like it accounted for like 40% of all Netflix
Oh.
streams was The Office.
Yeah.
I could have completely made that up.
It was I mean it was just it's an amazing show. But that's what I mean. Like that's why I liked it. Like that's why, and if someone still goes, no, I still like the British one, you're like, well, you're being ridiculous. Look, I don't think The Office ended gracefully.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It ended badly, but you're like, come on, dude. Like it's unreal. There's not a better show. Like it's so funny. It's so good. Every character, they just knocked it out of the park.
So in 2020, Americans watched 57 billion minutes of The Office on streaming platforms. The next highest show was Grey's Anatomy on Netflix with 39 billion. So we're talking, 20 billion more minutes than any other
Yeah.
show. I mean, it's huge, man.
Yeah.
It's crazy. They're all still watching these shows that are older.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's like, I don't know how these people don't figure this out in all these networks and streamings. Like they go like, I mean, The Office, that the way they're shooting that show kind of changed everything,
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
which was a big deal. But it's like, I never understand how like some of these, all of these, the 10 most viewed likes, I guess it's the licensed shows, but I think they do better on Netflix. People are just, it's funny. It's like, I mean, Netflix is that's what Netflix is doing though. Netflix is starting to figure out to make these shows. Cause I mean, if these networks don't figure this out, cause they're still making good shows, but then they're like chasing something wrong, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And Netflix is not. So Netflix just buys the shows, gets the people on there, shows the people want to watch it, and then Netflix can eventually just be like, well, we're starting to make shows that are going to be like this, and you will only come here. You won't. It'll be all our original shows.
That's where Jeff Bezos summoned Amazon or whatever to make the next Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
Did you see that?
Yeah.
I mean, that's easier said than done.
Mhm.
Summoned.
Just mean like, I want you guys to create the next Game of Thrones.
He told Amazon that.
Was it Amazon?
Well, it was. I know
It had to be.
we were talking about over last weekend. Is Amazon's doing a Lord of the Rings series?
Mhm.
They're going to spend over $1 billion on it.
Yeah,
Just the amount of money that's thrown into that is insane, man.
yeah.
$1
And they're
billion.
trying to
to do it.
Yeah, it could. Yeah, but it's not all about money. I mean, it's like stuff's got to be. The Office. It couldn't have cost that much to shoot.
No.
Like it would hold up to be. I think you're gonna have as much enjoyment of watching that $1 billion of Lord of the Rings versus The Office. You're gonna watch it, enjoy them both.
Do you feel like that's part of why the show's rewatchable? Is that it's just
it's
so
easier to
simple?
watch?
It's in
Yes.
an office. It's
Yes.
in a
Yeah, it's-
familiar place.
Yeah, it's like it's about the jokes. It's like the characters. You're not surprised by anything. It's not like you're having to follow along. People get tired of like I mean, you got to think it's all day, every day is like your phone's going off. Everybody's technically the busiest. The people are busier than they would have been in the 50s and 60s because that would have been you just went to work and then you went home and there wasn't that much to watch on TV. Your phone never rang. Like, maybe you talk to the neighbors, but it's very simple. And then now it's like you're talking to, I mean, you got to think like during an office hour of like an old job in the 60s, you talk to those people you talk to probably 5 times that amount of people. And that could be like a real big company. Could be like, I talked to 8 people today. And you're like, I've talked to 40 by noon. Like, that's a lot. And I do it, and it never lets
email.
up. Text, it never lets up. Social media, like you're talking to, you have 100 conversations going on in 100 different scenarios. So it's like when you go back to watch like an Office or something, like Lord of the Rings is like, all right, we spent all this money. You're like, I guess I got to pay attention if I want to really enjoy it. And then you're like, I don't care. I just can't. I don't want to. I can't. You can be in the right mood for it. If it's like your thing, but you got to be really in the right mood. I got to be in the right mood to watch a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Like I got to be like, I'll get out of the mood of not watch. Like I won't want to watch The Office.
Right.
And you're just kind of like, I don't know. I just feel like, I mean, like right now I'm going through all these. I'd rather just watch an old movie than some stuff.
I've started to recognize that in myself, that I'll start something and be like, I am not in the right mood and I'm not going to enjoy this.
Yeah.
I went to see Deadpool, the movie Deadpool, in a crowded theater, and it started and I walked out like a minute in because Ryan Reynolds made a joke and the whole theater laughed. And I go, I'm not in the mood to watch this. Yeah. So I just got up and left and went to a bar and waited for my friends to leave.
Oh, wow.
You just go, I'm not going to enjoy this, why would I sit and watch the whole thing?
A lot of people don't have that money to waste like you do. And so they just have to sit through it. You spent money to then go leave and go spend money at somewhere else.
That's what's called a sunk cost, right? Because the money's already been spent.
Yeah.
So why do I feel like I need to?
Did you illegally download it when you watched it the next time?
I've never.
You've never watched it?
Never watched it again.
So will you try to do it for free?
Yeah, I'll find it and I'll wait if I'm in the right mood.
So you feel like you get the money back.
Yeah.
Or would
I feel
you
I'll
pay
finally
them
get my
twice?
money's worth.
Yeah.
So you're by yourself, took your small and more money, and went and watched it, and then you're like, I'm out.
No, I was probably college when the movie came out.
Wow.
What'd your friends say?
They were like, "Where did you go?" I could tell I wasn't going to enjoy it.
That you left the whole movie, and at the end of it, they go, "Where'd you go?"
Yeah.
Oh, they stayed in there?
Oh, they stayed and enjoyed the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you were by yourself.
I met
So
up
they
with them
didn't ask
afterwards.
any more questions. And you've been gone for 2 hours.
Nah, I think they were like, they get it.
They got it. How do they not? How does one of them not leave and go, "Are you okay?" Or text you? You have phones then. No one texted and said, "Hey man, are you cool?"
I don't remember. Probably not, to be honest with you. I think they did. Maybe I thought
I went to the movies with
bathroom
my buddies and then left at the very beginning of it and didn't show up again until I left there's a little more than, "What's up, man? Where'd you go?" Like, are they just,
I think the first joke that I didn't think was funny got a huge laugh. I looked over and I go, "Yeah, I'm out." You know, and I think they got it.
Oh.
And they go, "We'll catch up with you after."
Yeah.
I think we just kind of.
So there's probably a little more
I
of
could
like,
see it in my eyes.
"Hey, I'm gonna go. I'm just not." You just said, "I'm not feeling this right now.
Right.
I'm gonna go." So you at least said that.
I gave them a little. Yeah, they got it.
Okay. I just like to hear the whole story.
Yeah.
But
Well,
that is a good thing to realize when you're not in the mood.
Mhm.
So I love Narcos. Like I always love that. And I haven't started this season yet just because I know I haven't. Like I love it. And I tried to watch the first episode and I was excited, but then I'm like, I was just too busy and I wasn't going to be able to like focus. And I was like, well, I want to watch this and I don't want to like not like it because I'm just too,
Right.
I'm not in this space. So I haven't watched it yet.
Don't force it.
I'm not.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm not. I'm still, but I for some reason can pay attention to these old movies.
even if you don't know them that well.
Yeah, I don't know any of them. I mean, I didn't know any of Angels Fallen, London Has Fallen. They're changing my life. I mean, I'm watching them and being like, I see it.
Olympia's fallen.
I watched all 3.
Yeah.
Yeah, we talked about it.
Yeah.
And those are recent movies, right?
No, I don't know.
So it's not
last
like-
decade or so,
Yeah.
right?
I mean, have they really advanced so much where the plot's so much more complex now?
I just think they were just nailing it back then. They were just Olympus Has Fallen. It's about, or some of it's like the government can be bad and like all this stuff, or like it's some stuff like that where you're like they're just on. You're just like
Yeah.
they're just like they're on like a point where you're like, oh wow, that's making good points. I don't know. Some
Yeah.
of it is just not saying they all do, but
Right.
yeah.
Well, The Office got off to kind of a rocky start ratings wise, and then they pivoted away from the British version style and started making Michael Scott more likable,
Yeah.
less like Ricky Gervais's character, David Brent. And
Ricky Gervais is likable when he's mean. And Steve Carell's not. And so that's just like there's no even, I don't think there's even an acting thing in that. It's like Ricky Gervais is the character he was is kind of, you see him in stand up, it's like that kind of thing. Like,
Mhm.
you know.
Is he lovable in the same way that Michael Scott became lovable?
I
though?
think he was in the like he was I think he was he was a loser. They're both losers.
Mhm.
right.
But his loserness was like he was trying to be cool, but you were like, oh, there's a sweet guy under there, and
Right.
he's just trying to.
Right.
He's got an earring or something, or you're like, he's trying to do all this kind of stuff. And Steve Carell is a loser, but he's lovable, but in a different, like he wears the suit every day to work, and like Ricky Gervais could come in and trying to be dressed a little cooler or something.
Mhm.
Like he doesn't have a jacket on, but he has his tie and his sleeves rolled up, and like that kind of like you're like, oh, this guy is like. He's trying to be something he's not,
Yeah.
and that works with Ricky Gervais. And Steve Carell, you're like, you need to have the suit on and just be dumb,
Mhm.
you know. But he has heart.
Yeah.
Like he's you know, like again the the Pam episode with the
Business school.
the business
Business
school with
school.
art, and he goes, that's beautiful. Like
Yeah.
he's a simple minded, but he's very happy for the person, and he sees. And so it's like you're doing the same thing. Their likableness is just coming from a different place.
And one of the main ways they made him more likable, they gave him a full head of hair
Yeah. Was
between
he
seasons 1 and 2.
bald?
He was balding.
He's
He
more
looked-
slick
in real
back.
life.
It was slick back.
Yes,
It was a
I
little
remember that.
balding, and he looked kind of slimy, like a
Yeah.
used car salesman.
Yeah.
And then they gave him a full head of hair. Yeah. He also got ripped because he was filming 40-Year-Old Virgin, right? So he was like great shape,
Mhm.
full head of hair, more lovable looking.
But you
guy.
couldn't tell he was in great shape.
No, because wearing the suit.
Yeah. Yeah, they wore it big to
You know,
not show it.
Right.
Yeah,
A
that's
little
what
less
I
of a chin, I
Yeah.
guess. You can kind of tell.
yeah. I mean, because that's a big deal. If they would have showed him ripped.
Yeah, and you can see it occasionally, like the one where he comes up with the golden ticket idea,
Mm.
and it backfires, and he goes dumps the suit in the thing, and then he's wearing like a jogger and a t-shirt, and you
Yeah.
can tell he's in really good shape.
Yeah. Yeah.
They changed the setting. The first season was shot in a real life office in Culver City, California, and then they transitioned to a soundstage for the second season, and they rebuilt it, perfect replica. And they made his office a little bit bigger to accommodate cameras, and they could now control the weather. And they made the lights in the office brighter.
Oh.
Oh.
They
Hmm.
changed the tonal. They said the tonal shift. The British one's kind of
Dark. And
dark, and
darker.
it's
Yeah.
much more shaky cam, like a real documentary kind
It's
of thing.
it's shot like British. Like
Yeah.
it feels like British. Like, you know. And yeah, it should be shot differently. You got to mix it up and do something different.
It probably is a little darker over there, isn't it? I've never been.
More rain.
I think of England. I think,
think
it's
it
a
is.
little drearier.
Yep.
Yeah.
They lived in Slough, which just sounds like a dreary place.
That's their Scranton.
That's
Yeah.
oh, there was Slough.
Slough.
Yeah.
And I think the American version, I think their address was Slough or something like that.
Oh, okay. That's
Is
cool.
they just found a small town, Scranton,
Yeah.
Slough, which is just outside England. I mean, London.
Yeah, just
think.
outside England.
Yeah.
The show didn't do great in the ratings at the start, but it took up 4 of the top 5 slots on downloaded TV shows on iTunes.
Huh.
So that's how people they found it wasn't just white collar workers; it was young audiences.
That's how I found the show. I remember I downloaded the Christmas episode on iTunes.
Yeah.
I had never seen the show, but it was one of the top downloaded, and I bought it for like $1.99 and loved it. That's how I was exposed to it.
So I didn't even know people were buying
either.
shows like that.
There was
then.
one of the first you could do that with. I remember I was
Wow.
blown away. You could just buy a TV episode,
Yeah.
and I got that Christmas episode.
And then did you buy all of them?
No, I don't think so.
Did you start watching them regular?
On and off. It wasn't until the show had ended and was on the streaming platforms that I really dug into it. Yeah, but if it's one of those shows, it's like South Park for me. If it's on, back in the day, if it's on, I'd watch it. I'd be like, oh, this is great.
Yeah.
But I just, for whatever reason, it took me a while to sit down and actually, dive in.
Yeah. Some people auditioned for the part. Adam Scott, you guys know him?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
He auditioned for Jim Halpert. Seth Rogen auditioned for Dwight Schrute. Eric Stone Street auditioned for Kevin.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that.
Angela auditioned for Pam. Bob Odenkirk auditioned for Michael Scott. And he came back in a later episode.
Yeah.
Won the
He could have probably done it.
Yeah.
Like, you could see it. Bob Odenkirk could have done it. But it was, you'd done it and you would just, like, he's about the only one. Even when they did it, he's just he was great in it.
Mm-hmm.
When they had him,
Mm-hmm.
when he was in the office, he was funny. But Steve Carell was.
There's Eric Stone Street. That's Kevin. Auditioning.
He would have nailed it.
Judah Friedlander too. I think he auditioned on there. Yeah, I remember. There's a compilation video on YouTube of all the audition tapes of people that are now super famous. It's pretty fun to watch.
Yeah, they were on the right track, basically, of everybody that they got. It's funny to go, like, was Seth Rogen not huge at that point?
I thought he was. But maybe not.
He's probably on the verge.
Yeah.
It's funny to think, like, who they got. What's his face? Baumgartner or
Brian Baumgartner.
Yeah. And it's funny, but they do go with him. I didn't know him from was he in other stuff before?
I don't know.
But maybe you would have. But I mean, they actually did a good job of, like, you don't go after whoever. You don't go after the flashy. Or I'm not saying he's not flashy, but it's like Seth Rogen or something, or But Eric, I guess, was not, because this was before Modern Family.
Ruth was watching Four Christmases this weekend. The Vince Vaughn, Reese Witherspoon, and Steve Burns in it, which I had no idea.
Oh, yeah.
And then I didn't see him, but she said Brian Baumgartner was in it, just in a small role.
Oh yeah.
So I guess that came out before The Office.
Yeah.
I can't remember. John Krasinski, when he auditioned, he was waiting in the room to go in. Amanda eating a salad, asked him, "Are you nervous?" And he said, "No, not really. You either get these things or you don't. What I'm really nervous about is the show. I love the British show so much, and Americans have a tendency to really screw these opportunities up. I just don't know how I'll live for myself if they screw up the show and ruin it for me." And then the man responded, "I'm Greg Daniels, the executive producer."
Oh, I love that.
That's a story that almost doesn't seem real, like too good to be true, but I guess it is.
I could see it. If he's high up in the audition process, then you're in front of,
they're in the waiting room eating a salad. That's what's.
I know, but like, so I'm saying, it's like when you think of auditions. So when you do an audition, like when you do them some at the beginning, like no one, like some casting person's there. Sometimes it's not even that main casting person. Mm-hmm. It's the level that you're at. And then the higher you get, which I imagine John Krasinski was probably getting, like, this dude's about to get something. Mm-hmm. And so the higher they get, when they come in, it's a big deal. Like some of them won't audition unless they're made. Just for my pilot, I know, like Katie Hazelton, who ended up playing my wife, I didn't read with her when she first came in, because I thought of it as like, I don't even know if I'm good. So I didn't want to ruin. I was so scared that I would ruin I don't want, the network to think that they're, like, well, this girl's not good. Mm-hmm. And it's like, she's not good because I'm terrible. Mm-hmm. And then I had a little bit of fear of, like, what if they look at me and they go, well, golly, this guy's bad. So, and I've never done any of this. So I was like, I don't want to read. Well, she was like, there's people that are, she was one of the hotter names. So, there's a list of, it's not a huge list, but you can get a list of people, but there's a smaller list of, like, look, these are the ones these networks want. These networks want these people in these shows. And so Kate Katie Isleson she was one of the top ones, and so she came in and I didn't read with her, and I talked to her about it afterwards, and I was like, "Oh, did you think that was bad?" She goes, "Yeah." I mean, she called her agent after, and was like, "I thought he was reading with me because it would mean that like this is more real." It's like
Mhm.
because I mean she was at the point of going, she's not offer only, but she's
What's that mean?
like if you just like they have to offer it to you or you don't have to audition.
Oh, okay.
okay.
But she was like, there's some people that are offer only.
Mm.
And like if you wanted, I mean, you not that we did this, but if you wanted Jennifer Aniston, like you
Yeah.
just got to offer their.
You're not going to make her read.
You can't make her read.
Okay.
So she was like at the point of like she was close though to be like she, you know, she still. But if she came in, it was like, hey, she needs to read with me, and you know, and like she's high up on the. We need to tell her a real answer. It's not when you're newer where I was when I auditioned, like you go do it, you would have to go to a bunch more. So Krasinski, I'm sure Greg Daniels probably wasn't there. Like everybody would have been in there because they're getting to the point of like we're deciding, and so we need to all see who this, you know, who this person is. I auditioned once for Krasinski on something, and he was in the room. It was for a Bud Light. I think it was a Bud Light commercial.
Oh, really?
And he was like producing it. It was like the first thing that he was like kind of producing. So it was like a commercial. It was like a funny commercial. I mean, The Office has already been on and all this stuff. I was writing my show with Halstead Sullivan at the time, who wrote The Office. And then I go into audition for it. And I remember I had him, he was laughing so hard. But I wasn't just the fit for that. So I remember he was dying laughing. I was like, dude, I might get this. Like he was losing it. But then I ended up seeing the commercial and I was like, yeah, I just didn't fit in that commercial. And I think it came out. It was maybe a Bud Light commercial. Maybe you can see if John Krasinski produced it. Look and see if there's one.
Yeah.
But I didn't like what I didn't fit with the people they were booking.
Yeah.
But then after I remember, so I parked and I was like, oh, that went good. I got to meet him. I was like, that's awesome. And I actually saw him later on, like somewhere else, like in LA, and he remembered me.
Really?
Yeah. He was like, oh, he's like, cause it was like, he was really funny. Maybe it's
Hold My Beer. Was it something to do with that?
2014?
Yeah. Super Bowl commercial, maybe.
Well, that's 15 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll find it right after that.
Yeah, it's so they but anyway, so I do that audition, right? And like that was the one like when you do these auditions, like I think I was always a person that everybody liked, but I'm not. Like it's either you want me or you don't. And so when I would go in, it could be like I like this guy, but I'm just too different. Like I'm not, I don't fit in with everybody else. And so I just wouldn't get anything. I don't like that's why I'd get callbacks where you do one and they call you back to go, you know, which is a good sign. They call you back, let's see you again, because they're like, is this guy it? And then the second time you're like, nah, he was not. But I remember my car got broken into that day. I was having to record I had my set list that night.
Oh, I remember this.
Yeah. That night I was recording my hour set for Comedy Central to tape my hour, the Full-Time Magic special. So I was having to record it so I could send it to Comedy Central so they could hear the hour special to make sure like, all right, we like it, let's do it. And I left that audition from Krasinski. I was like feeling good, and I go to my car, my window smashed, my backpack's gone. And I think they got my laptop. And I'm a guy, I don't care about stuff getting taken. The only thing not in I couldn't afford any of this stuff again. I didn't have any money, but it was, it's like, all right, you figure it out.
Yeah.
And then, but my jokes my note card was stolen. That was my set list of what I was doing that night. All that was in there. And now I take pictures of my set list because of that day. But because it was like I didn't have anything, so I was having to go off memory. And so then I was so scared I was going to like miss just some little stuff here and there. And I was like trying to go through my set, and I wrote it all down as quick as I can. So yeah,
I can't find a video of these, but this is a write up about the Hold My Beer.
Yeah,
a bunch of digital shorts.
Okay, yeah, it was those.
Bud Light, yeah.
Adam Ray's in it because Adam Ray got it.
Oh, is that him in the background?
I think that's him in the background.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
That could have been you with the shirt ripped
Could have
off
been
like
me.
that.
I could have been one of them, and they said no. But he laughed a lot.
That's really
So
cool.
he was very nice.
When Krasinski got the part, he met with different paper companies employees to learn about the role, and he went to Scranton just to learn about the town. And the footage you see at the beginning of in the open of the show is shot by him. The kind of grainy footage of Scranton and stuff. He shot that just driving around Scranton.
So he went and he actually researched the role.
Mm-hmm.
See, that's what I just don't. That's why I'd have to create my own show. Like, because I just, like, as an actor, that's such a different mindset. And that's a thing that you have to go do. And I just would never, I don't know. There's something like, I think actors have like a different, where they like playing.
You do that, though, and in your own way in comedy. I mean, it's your real life. You get out there, you learn about what's going on. You don't sit in your hotel room.
Yeah. But it's me going through it.
Yeah. It's
so I guess I'm
you do so many things that an actor would say, I could never do that, as far as just the commitment to it.
Yeah.
As much as anything.
But I have a hard time. There's, Adam, we could hear Adam's. Oh, Adam's on the podcast.
Yep.
And then Adam, maybe he got it. Dadgummit, Adam, they do that. I think I like doing it though, because it's like, it's me. I don't know if I could do it imagining it's someone else.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you're like playing a character, I just don't ever, that always seems weird to me. Like when someone plays a bad character and they're like, this guy's a real jerk. And you're like, well, it's you. That's what I always think when they interview the actor after. They go, yeah, well, I had to get in the mindset of just a real psycho. And you're like, yeah, but you were that person.
Yeah.
Even though it's not,
did it.
But you got in there. Like they always like, sometimes they can be, I just take stuff. It doesn't make sense. I take it as a way, like they think they're better than the character. And I'm like, but you get like a free pass that you got to like yell all that mean stuff on TV or in a movie. This is not The Office, obviously,
right.
But whatever movies, like you got to make fun of this guy and be mean about this guy. And it could be a bad person, and then you're like, yeah, that wasn't me though. I'm just a really good actor. And you're like,
but it was you.
But it was you. But you yelled those words. I mean, that's when I would never do a Southern, when they would have to do Southern, I'd get like some thing that was like, I need to be a Southern racist.
Right.
In a movie. I was like, I'm not going to go do this. Like, I don't think that you're like, it's the same thing. You're like, I don't know this guy. I don't know who you're talking about. I'm here.
Yeah.
I don't know who's this Southern racist guy that you want me to be.
Who's this character?
But then it's the same thing. It's like, it's every Southern racist character is just like, that's what you think we're doing down here. And I always took it as that. I think you think I'm that.
Yeah.
I would take it very personal. And that, you know what I learned? Hurts you in acting. It hurts you and you can't take it. I think they're thinking of me. Like, we wrote this part for you and it's just the most racist character of all time. And you're like, is that what you think I'm doing? They're like, no, it's just a character. Like, but I'm Southern. So I think you're thinking about me. Like, even though you're not thinking of me, but like, we're all.
His name's Nate.
Yeah.
They don't even change it.
They don't even change. But it's like you're talking about my family and my friends and like it's all of us together. Mm-hmm. I don't,
Yeah.
Here we are. That's why I started a podcast.
Yep.
I'm acting like I haven't had a great time with y'all. So, how good would that be? If I was like,
You're like, guys, we're joking, but it's still you. You're the ones that said the mean stuff to us.
Yeah. But I say it. So you should be. I did. That's right. I did say it. I don't mean it though. That's what they should say.
Phyllis was a casting agent for the show, and then they said you should just be Phyllis, and of course she was. Before that, she was an NFL cheerleader and a burlesque dancer.
She was? Who's she cheerlead for?
St. Louis Cardinals.
Wow. Do they have pictures of that?
I don't know.
I'll look it up.
That's pretty crazy that she did, she was just the casting,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I think they all probably got to think that now. I mean, that's crazy, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She said she loved football. She could watch the games, dance, and look at the cute guys across the field.
Wow.
She's great on the show, man.
Yeah, I mean that's
She is.
yeah, that's she did. Yeah, she was awesome. I mean, that's why like casting is everything. And for you to, I think it's hard for some shows not to go after like the famous person
Mm-hmm.
because you're looking at them and you're like, I mean, when you're auditioning and you're like, I know who these people are. They're famous.
Mm-hmm. I think The Office purposely went after no names.
It's hard, but
Yeah.
but it's hard to not go after no names.
Mhm.
You have to be in the business enough to be able to be confident enough to not go after
Yeah.
no names.
Yeah.
If I would have ever got my show earlier, like 10 years ago or something when I tried, I don't have a show now, so I haven't got it. But if like I would have gotten one of those, I mean, I could have get talked into every famous because you had been like, I can't believe I'm even getting to meet this
Mhm.
person.
Yeah, yeah.
And so you'd be like, yeah, that's crazy. And you got to be, I think, confident enough in your thing that you created that you go, no, I don't really need. And I mean, sometimes you do need that person. But sometimes you like, I don't want a famous person. I want someone that no one really knows. That would fit more with what
Yeah.
we're trying to do.
Especially since The Office, I feel like so much of it is like hyper realism and it's
Yeah.
a mockumentary. The fact that they just look like regular people, a lot of them, and you don't recognize them as stars. That all
Steve
helps.
Carell was. You can be somewhat famous,
Right. I mean, he didn't become that famous until
Yeah.
the show had
To The
already
Office.
started.
Yeah. But before he got it, you knew him from
The Daily
Show. And so, but I mean, that's what I mean. You can be, but you weren't. There's a difference between having people knowing who you are and then being a celebrity. Where like it's where you everywhere you go, like like I
It's a
know, like
problem.
it's like everybody just knows who you are. There's a gigantic difference. You go see David Spade walk around, everybody knows who David Spade is. They see him and they go, I know that.
Chris Rock.
Chris
same
Rock.
way, yeah.
Everybody knows who they are. And so there's a difference of that and that. So Steve Carell before it was like, we knew who he was because of the Daily Show being in comedy. He was very funny. A lot of people knew who he was. But the world didn't know who he was. And then The Office came and now everybody knows who he is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. They, you would do those auditions for your pilot, and sometimes you would talk to me and tell me who I was auditioning. It's always for the parents, it's people from my generation. And I would always be like, oh my gosh, Patrick Duffy.
Yeah.
You got to get him.
Yeah.
Did it from Step by Step?
Well, I know him from Dallas.
Oh, okay. Oh, my bad.
It's J.R. Ewing's brother, Bobby Ewing.
Uh-huh.
So it was always people I would have been the one of like the first person I knew. That's him. We got to go with him. But he used a little restraint, I guess.
Yeah. Well, he was great. They're all great. You just kind of. I mean, we didn't. We ended up being the.
But was it because they're famous? Because they were the best part.
They were just very, very good together.
Yeah.
Kurtwood Smith and Deborah Jo Rupp.
Yeah.
And I mean, they're bringing that back on Netflix. They were just so unbelievable.
In the episode where Jim proposes to Pam, they wanted to use a real rest stop on Merritt Parkway, but it would cost $100,000. Plus, they wouldn't be able to use fake rain, which is important to the scene. So they built a replica of the parkway and a rest stop. The shot ended up costing $250,000. But Greg Daniels said it's the most expensive and elaborate shot we've ever done, but it's also the highlight of 5 years of storytelling.
Yeah.
I would have never guessed that wasn't a real rest stop.
Yeah, I thought it was a real, It's two, so why don't you just do a real rest stop? I guess it's hard.
Yeah, I mean, he said that one would cost $100,000 and they wanted rain. Seemed like
Yeah.
they could wait for some rain, but
Yeah. I guess you got to get really lucky. Yeah, that is good. You got to get really lucky. You can see all the drinks inside to see the person.
It looks super real, man.
Yeah, it's like you could do it, and then but it's funny if you don't dress it up or have it, put like that, it could look terrible.
There's a big, I've heard on some podcasts, there's a big debate over whether the listeners should be able to hear what they say in this moment, this proposal. So many of the offices, like the more intimate moments, are actually filmed from afar, like the cameraman secretly filming them. There's a big debate whether to just let you just see it happen And I think that would have been really cool. I think you ended up hearing it.
Oh, you did hear it?
Yeah, you did hear him ask her
Propose
to
to her?
marry him. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
I didn't think you did.
you can hear it. Yeah.
Okay. Well, and maybe I'm getting it mixed up with when Michael leaves and Pam runs to the airport and says goodbye to him. You can't hear what they say, and the producers told her, just go tell him what you would really say to him, and she did. She said she was real tears, and she just told Steve Carell that she loved him and would miss him and goodbye to him.
Yeah.
And they just let it roll.
That's really
awesome.
Cool.
Yeah.
There's a couple moments like that. There's also a moment where Jim gives Pam the letter that he put in the teapot.
Yeah.
And finally lets her read it.
Yeah.
And I've heard that he actually wrote a letter to Jenna Fisher, the actress, a personal letter to her, and that's her reading the actual letter on,
that's cool.
on the episode.
Oh, wow.
It's her real reaction. I love stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gas station's fake, though.
It's all fraud, dude.
In the show finale, they kept Steve Carell so secret that they kept it out of the dailies. Didn't want anyone to know. At the table read, they had Creed read Michael Scott's lines. Creed Bratton.
In the season finale?
In the series finale, when he
series
came
finale.
back for Dwight's wedding.
Oh. At the very, very end.
The very
last
end.
episode.
Yeah,
the
yeah,
real.
yeah.
He doesn't talk, though, right?
He has a few lines.
He has a line. He said, it's like you watched your kids grow up and marry each other.
Yeah.
It's every parent's dream.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He said, I think he has a that's what she said and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I mean, it's very few lines.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But
He didn't want it to be about him.
No.
I mean,
mm-mm.
but that's a weird thing. Like, if you don't want it to be about you, I get it. It's their time because he's been gone. But you're like, but that's what I mean. He's like, he wanted it to be about those actors.
Mhm.
And that's where you're like, but it's not about the actors, it's about the audience.
Mm.
And the audience is who you made the show. The audience is the reason the show is what it is. I mean, it's because of these actors, but that you do it for what the audience would want. It's not you know what I mean? It's not like I understand the sweetness of it to be like he was so famous then. He doesn't want to come back to overshadow like all the work that they've done.
Yeah.
But it's kind of like it's the work that all of you done.
Yeah.
And it's the reason you get to be where you're at is because of your greatness and how great you are in the writing of this show. But you only get that because that audience wants to see that. And so there's a weird line, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree. I think they played it nicely.
Oh, I
Like
wanted
it
a
did.
lot more.
Oh, you want a lot
Michael.
more from him?
Yeah, and I think I'd heard the rumor that and maybe it was just a rumor, but it turned out to be true that he was coming back. And then I was disappointed he didn't say more
Yeah, I think I was too.
in the episode.
It was like
I
that's
didn't-
the point is to have him come back and
I didn't mind it. By that point, you'd gone 2 whole seasons without him. It's just kind of a nice.
did he only do
bonus.
2 seasons without him?
He left in the middle of season 7.
Yeah, and then seasons 8.
I need to
and
go
9
back.
are
I'm gonna
all-
go back and start. I was going back and rewatching the whole thing, and then I
Yeah.
kind of stopped, and I'm gonna go back now because I got to kind of, hit a point
Yeah.
even when he was there where it was like, all right, it should have ended then.
Oh, I agree. On the Seinfeld episode with Mark Norman, you said how the show kind of tanked, and some people really defended it, but I totally agree with you.
The Office.
Yeah,
Oh, they thought it.
people liked it. They're like the characters finally got to develop more after he left.
No.
I feel
Yeah,
like they
who-
changed.
I mean, who wrote that? The characters. Who was those comments?
Dave Bryan and Mike McMurdy.
Yeah, was it Jenna Fisher and
Yeah,
Angela? You're like,
I totally agree with you. I think those last seasons tanked. Even before he left, the show
They didn't-
was getting.
it's not about tanking. It's you talk about like I'm not tanking in ratings. They're just
No, I
they
just don't think it
didn't-
was good.
It was not good. I respected the show and loved the show so much that I wrote it out and watched every episode.
Mhm.
But I was like, if I didn't have any love for the show, I would have stopped.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And it has nothing against them, but you're like, yeah, you're as a group. It's like a band. Like if one person left, you'd be like, well, I'm kind of out now. Like it's not trashing any of the other people in it. It's just being like, I was buying the whole package.
Yeah.
And so when the whole package is gone, then it's gone.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like, I'm not going to get it's not then like, well, I hope everybody, let me see the other character. It's like, it's the show, dude.
Right.
It's all about the show. It's not about one person. It's all of you work together.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, season 7, even before he left, there's some that were, to me, getting not as good. One of my favorite last ones that he did was when they go to the board meeting in New York City and all the shareholders, they're all
That's
furious
so
at him.
Yeah.
And he gets up there on stage. He's like, we're going to come back with, was it a 45-point
Yeah,
Yeah.
45-point plan, 45 days, 1
Yeah.
point per day.
Yeah.
plan.
And they're cheering, you. And he runs back on stage like he's the
Yeah.
Yeah,
special.
we will
That
also
is
be
good.
completely carbon neutral. Like ridiculous claims.
Yeah.
Yeah. James Spader was just supposed to make a cameo, but they liked his energy so much they felt like it brought something new to the show, so they made him a regular.
Yeah, when they were trying to fill his, because that's when they were trying to fill his
Mhm.
replacement.
Mhm. Yeah.
And did he end up becoming the replacement? No.
Well, they kind of did a little bit of everything. Nelly was for a while.
Yeah.
Andy was the replacement.
Well,
Yeah, Andy-
Ed Helms kept having to leave to film movies and
Yeah.
stuff. So they kept having to write just reasons why his character would leave. So first it was he went to anger management for a while
Yeah.
early on. I think that's when he was filming The Hangover. And then he comes back and then he goes to the Bahamas on a yacht. He just
Yep.
keeps leaving. So that character kind of, I don't know. I feel like there's progress with him. Then he just kind of becomes a crazy person. at the
Yeah, I
end.
almost didn't like it at first, and then I did. Then I didn't mind him. And then when they were going to make him the boss, I was like, I don't care about this at all.
I agree.
But I think they, I'd rather it have been. It's like it should have been maybe Dwight, and then make it just go Dwight crazy or something like, or maybe, I'd have been maybe it's too much Dwight, but
He fired a gun
He
yeah.
fired a gun
in
in
the
the office.
office.
Mhm.
Well, he ends up the manager at the end.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Will Ferrell was actually the first manager,
Yeah,
D'Angelo Vickers.
yeah,
And he was pretty great.
yeah. That's just
But that was a short-lived thing.
Yeah. It was like everybody's too. It's almost go back through all the people that they could have got before at the beginning, and then
Yeah.
you're like, well, you're just too famous now.
Yeah.
But Andy, Ed Helms was like just too. He was just too famous. It was like too going. His career was too good.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Taking off.
yeah,
Yeah. They were supposed to do an Office spinoff for Dwight called The Farm, but then they just decided to pass on it. But there's an episode, one of the last episodes, when he's like looking at the will. Do you remember this with his cousin or something like that? And it's when the show to me has gotten really bad.
I think the pilot became an episode on the show. It's where his aunt dies and then he comes in the office and he's throwing dirt at people, inviting them to the funeral.
Yeah.
And you meet his brother and his sister.
Yep.
That was going to be the pilot for this spinoff.
yeah.
And it just went nowhere.
Yeah.
There's a couple episodes they've now removed. One where he does the Shroot Christmas and
Yeah.
his friend shows up in blackface.
Yeah.
And they've taken that
They
just
took
that scene out,
little
right?
part of it out. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Why
then-
did he show him?
It was, I think that's a real thing, right?
He was reenacting this. I can't remember the name of it. He's this old German Santa Claus, and he
Yeah.
has a sidekick who's
Krankus or Kringle or
yeah,
something.
who's in blackface. And they go, you better not bring that guy in. And then he calls his friend Nate, and you see his friend Nate walking through the parking lot in blackface.
Yeah.
Yeah, they cut that part out. You can't get that anywhere now. Yeah.
That Nate was a writer or something on it, right? Or,
think so.
Yeah.
Mose, his cousin Mose is one of the main writers on the show.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
Cousin Mose.
Michael
Yeah.
Schur, I think
Yeah,
is his
yeah.
name.
Yeah.
And then Comedy Central, when they started airing the Office, they took out Diversity Day,
Yeah.
which to me is
Oh, really?
ridiculous because the
Yeah.
whole thing is making fun of people that don't get diversity.
Right.
So
Yeah.
anyway, what are you gonna do, right? Jim wore fake hair.
At least you moved on from it. It is great. That was a funny episode.
Yeah, that might have been like the second episode that ever aired.
I think it was.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was that first season.
Jim wore fake hair in season 3 because he was shooting the movie Leatherheads. So John Krasinski wore fake hair. Excuse me. So he had to shave his
What
head.
Leatherheads? What is that? A horror movie?
No, it's about a 1920s football team.
Oh.
Oh,
Is
okay.
that movie good?
I never saw
I've
it.
never heard of it. So.
Yeah. What is his hair? His his hair wasn't as long or something?
I think he shaved it
Oh.
one time for the movie. So they.
I wonder. That's some pretty big names, though.
Yeah, George Clooney's in it. So,
Renee Zellweger, John Krasinski.
yeah.
He really, man, popped off. I mean, he's huge.
He is. He's such a Good actor.
Yeah, 13 hours I'll watch. I could watch it every day.
I've never seen it.
13 hours?
No, I've heard it. It looks pretty cool though.
I mean, I could watch it every day.
Yeah.
I honestly, I stop myself from watching it every day. I want to watch it every day.
Roy's in that too.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. I want to, I mean, I go, that's enough. That's how much I would like to watch it.
Wow.
Yeah, it's great. John Krasinski and BJ Novak were high school classmates. Isn't
That's
that
pretty crazy.
Oh, wow.
Played Little League Baseball together.
my
Oh, wow.
gosh.
John Krasinski was in BJ Novak's play that he put on.
Huh.
Ed Helms and Brian Baumgartner went to the same high school as well. They were a year apart in Atlanta,
Wow.
Where did Krasinski grow up?
Massachusetts, I think.
BJ Novak he wrote a lot of this stuff too.
Yeah, he's great too.
Yeah, he's great. His character really grew on me too. Like I
Mhm.
thought it was like really funny, and like
Mhm.
when he got that job and was up there and then
Mhm.
moved back, like BJ was great.
You know what's my favorite little piece of trivia of The Office is that all the writers that are also actors, which is Toby
Mhm.
and Mindy Kaling and BJ Novak, because they needed them to have, they had to do stuff as writers. That's why all those characters were in the back room, the annex,
Oh wow.
so that they could be writing when they're not. They didn't need to be in scenes in the background.
Yeah.
I just think that's so cool that
Yeah,
they're
that is
thinking
cool.
about that.
That
yeah.
is crazy. That's a lot of work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, just how much you had to orchestrate like that. It's pretty
Yeah.
wild.
In the episode where Jim signs Meredith's cask, he signed it John Krasinski.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Little tidbit
Her
there.
the cast around her crotch.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And the one where the gay witch hunt where Michael kisses Oscar, he wasn't supposed to do that. He was supposed to just hug him, but he just improvised and went in for the kiss.
Yeah.
And Oscar said he just went with it.
Yeah. That was funny.
Yeah.
It is very funny.
You've met him, right, Oscar?
Yeah. Yeah. Long time ago.
Yeah.
He was very nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, great dude. Yeah, I don't know if I met. That's it at the office. Who did I met?
Yeah, you met Krasinski.
Yeah, I met Krasinski like briefly in that thing, and then Oscar, and those are the only two.
And Katie Hazelton was in The Office.
Oh yeah,
What was she?
She was the episode where Michael gives blood and he gets a crush on the girl around the corner.
oh yeah,
That's her.
that is true.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah. The Scrantones was the band who wrote the theme music, recorded the theme music for The Office, and they're the band that's on the Booze Cruise
Oh.
episode.
that's cool.
Oh, that's really cool.
So I wanted to just ask before we wrap up, what's your favorite episodes?
I mean, mine's that. I think the business school. That's got the
Yeah.
which is written.
By your buddy
My
Brent
buddy-
Forster.
Yeah, Brent Forster.
Brent Forster.
And so, because me and him wrote something, didn't go anywhere, but Brent's a wonderful person and a great writer. And so he was, and it was fun to, like, when I worked with him, like, he was like, oh man, yeah, that's my favorite episode. I just think it showed the heart of, it had everything.
It's
Yeah.
very funny.
It's a very funny episode. It had him giving that speech of paper dying, like they go in there, he
Mhm.
rips the book and all that stuff. And then to close it with the, I need to go back and like probably, I don't know if I've watched like Seinfeld where I think of like every episode, like is every storyline perfect and all this
Mhm.
kind of stuff. But I can't remember. I think a lot of the storylines were very good in that one.
Mhm.
And I mean, when he comes in and likes that painting, I mean, that's just maybe it's the
that's a real
sweetest
awesome
moment of,
Mhm.
and I loved it. And I loved it. I loved that so much that like, that's just,
Mhm.
you're like, this kind of guy is the best guy that could ever exist. Just,
Yeah.
it was pure, sweet, just is so, and like truly excited and being like, that painting is awesome. And
Mhm.
it's,
Yeah.
and being like, that looks like our building. Like, that's crazy, and
Mhm.
just
Mhm.
that kind of,
Mhm.
kind of person. Like, I like that. I love the Jim and Pam, like them getting together.
Mhm.
Mhm.
I could watch that all day long.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, them,
Mhm.
that kind of back and forth. And,
Yeah.
I mean, it was just wonderful.
Yeah. So well done.
Mm-hmm.
What was yours?
Probably The Deposition, which is the episode where Michael gets called to give a deposition when Jan is suing Dunder Mifflin. And it starts off, I love that it starts off very competent and then it just, he just unravels. And then one of my favorite moments of the whole show comes right back from commercial and it's the stenographer reading back the minutes where he's just reading what Michael had just said. That's what she said. Who said that? That's what. It's just so funny. That's
He's like, well, she butchered the timing.
He kind of messed up the timing.
One time he goes line.
Line. He said line like in a play.
I like that. Business School is one of my favorites too. I like the ones where it's sweet Michael moment.
Yeah.
It's the one where I don't know what's about, where Jim throws the party at his house. Doesn't want Michael there. I think Michael goes to his improv class, which is so funny.
Him and all the improv.
But then he shows up anyway, and he does karaoke, and he sings Islands in the Stream. And nobody wants to sing with him. And then Jim gets up there. And I love that because it's such a sweet scene.
That is yeah. When he does that gun scene, he goes, "What did he tell you?" He goes, "He told me he can't show me, but he does have a gun."
The dinner party is often considered the funniest, and I do love it.
I love it when he pulls that TV out. I just loved hearing how they couldn't get through it.
There's a lot of outtakes of Jim laughing.
Just being, I mean, you could tell that they truly loved each other, and that, like, as a cast, I would imagine, and that stuff, that's what matters. That stuff shows in real on camera. I mean, it's if you can't believe that these people still talk to each other, like, I think that's what Seinfeld is. Like, you still believe that you're like, they talk to each other. Like,
that's what you want to believe.
I think they do though.
No, I'm saying that's what you want that. So you're happy when you find out.
So and so, like, that stuff really comes off, and I think John and Krasinski and Steve Carell seem like they're very, very close, and so it's like you want to believe that that's all. It's just very sweet.
Did you like Scott's Tots?
I remember the first time I watched it. Like, it was the funniest thing. I have a hard time watching it now.
I do too.
Because I feel so bad.
I do too. It's the most cringeworthy episode.
But I mean, when it first came out, it was the funniest thing I've ever seen. Like, it's so funny to think that he promised all this, and then I guess I didn't like it. Well, I mean, for obvious reasons, but usually he'll find a way to dig himself out. And they don't.
No, they don't.
There's no way out of that. You just gotta.
When the office got robbed and he offered the Bruce Springsteen tickets, he doesn't have them. That's a little bit like, that's more than incompetent. That's just outright lying and get caught. Usually he'll find a way to.
But someone got him? Didn't he get the tickets?
No, they gave away a hug, Phyllis's hug. So it ends in a sweet way because they start bidding.
Bob Vance spent $5,000 on a hug.
But I thought they ripped the tickets. I thought he ripped them too.
That's maybe you're thinking about when he had tickets. He was offering them to
Holly
to go to, I forgot who it was.
Counting Crows.
Counting
Crows.
Yeah.
She had tickets to go on a date, and the guy didn't show up. And he goes, "You know what? Let me buy those tickets from you." And she goes, "You don't have to. We can just." He goes, "No, let me buy them." And so she gives it to him, and he just rips them out.
And she's like, "I mean, we could have won."
We could have won. They were great seats.
I just watched where they roast him, which is so funny.
Oh, dude.
And then he comes back at the end, and boom, roasted. And everyone starts laughing. And he's like, "All right, you guys don't know I kid. Get home safe."
Scott's Tots is like it's a perfect episode. Like, the idea of it is so funny, and it's like, I think I remember loving it, and then it's almost like the older I've gotten, I've been like, I can't watch this. Like, it's too but I think that's why they had to have Stanley just laughing the whole time, because it was but it's and he does such a good job, but it's so, because it would be so funny in real life to think it's this guy that's done something very sweet that can't, and it's like, well, do you let it pay? I mean, you can't. It's paying these kids to go to college, like, and he's just so sitting there. He has so much money. Because I thought I would have that.
I thought I'd be a millionaire by my 30s. But I had less money than I did in my 20s. Maybe when I'm 50, I don't know.
I just watched the episode where Pam punches him. And he said, "I saw my life flash before my eyes, and I was married, and I had 3 kids. It's all stuff in the future that he won't." So good.
He had so many great lines. I think you mentioned this before. He's like, "Man, you got great kids. I got a few of my own that I want someday."
I got a few of my own I want someday. It was Yeah, it's an unbelievable show. I mean, it's just so good. I don't know if we dove into it like we did Seinfeld as much, but
I mean, I got
Like
more
the
stuff,
episodes.
but we're about
what was like a, or is it?
another fun fact.
Yeah.
Let's see here. The real places in Scranton that they reference: Alfredo's Pizza, Poor Richard's, the bar they go to. That's all real places. You've been to Scranton,
Yeah.
some of these places, right?
Yeah. I did one of the shows I
You
did
said
right before
Wilkes-Barre,
COVID.
right?
I did Wilkes-Barre.
Yeah.
But I went to Scranton and did a drive-in. Wilkes-Barre is next to Scranton.
Mhm.
We went to that mall.
Mm-hmm. Steamtown Mall.
Yeah.
Seems to have them all.
I don't know if it was called that, but yeah. They have a sign, the Scranton sign in there, I think.
Yeah. Have you seen the video of when after its show ends and they go on like a ball field there in the real Scranton and do
Yeah.
a reunion, and they surprise everybody with Steve Carell coming out?
Oh, it's awesome.
Oh, no.
It gives me chills just thinking about it
Yeah.
because people go nuts.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he comes running out of the dugout.
Where?
They did when the show ended. They
Yeah.
did a big like thank you to Scranton
To the
at
real
the
town.
Scranton minor league ballpark.
Yeah.
And that brought out all the actors one by one, and
Yeah.
then Steve Carell comes out at the end. They didn't know he was going to be
Oh,
there. And
wow.
they
I
just
don't even
go-
think the actors knew it,
Oh yeah.
or at least
Yeah.
some of them didn't.
Yeah.
It's pretty fun to watch.
Oh.
Shriek Farms is a fictional place, of course, but there's been over 1,100 reviews on TripAdvisor.
Yeah.
But they put a warning: this is a fictional place. Please do not try to book a visit here. Mindy Kaling, John Krasinski, Ellie Kemper, all were interns for Conan.
Oh, wow.
In the stress relief episode where Michael does CPR training and they do it to the beats of the Bee Gees Staying Alive,
Yeah.
a person who watched that episode remembered it and successfully saved someone's life.
Oh, really?
by
Oh,
doing
wow.
CPR.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that great? That's such
Yeah.
a great scene.
Yeah. That's I mean, that's,
That whole thing.
yeah.
He starts doing it the wrong song. At first,
Yeah.
I was afraid. I was
Petrified.
petrified.
And they all start singing it.
And there's another one that's very, very Natish because she's like, what does it say? 60. She gives him a number and he's like, well, how many is that per hour? And
Yeah.
John Krasinski's like, how's that going to help you? He's like, I'll count ahead and then I'll divide.
Yeah.
It makes no sense, but it's
Yeah.
very
My
Natish.
most
Makes sense,
natish
yeah.
line is where Jim is trying to get out of something. He goes, I gotta go give blood. And Michael goes, how many times can you give blood?
Yeah.
And he goes, is there a limit? He goes,
Yeah.
well, your body only has so much.
Does it not? How many times can you give it? Wouldn't there be a point where it's got to stop?
Yeah, you got to stop,
Yeah.
right?
Not all time, like
No, all
over
time,
years
yeah.
and years is what he meant. Yeah.
Yeah.
I
I wonder what the amount is, though.
See, this is why I,
I think
said
you give,
it's the
like-
most natish
Like,
line.
was it like
once
you-
a month or something.
I know, but what if, like, how many times would it be like, well, you're out of blood?
It replenishes us pretty quick.
Yeah, you got to wait at least 8 weeks between donations of blood.
About 2 months.
Yeah. 6 times a year.
So if you did,
If you gave blood once a day for like, yeah, you'd probably
All
run
year.
out. You'd run out.
yeah, taps dry. They'd flick it. They'd flick it at me. That's what I mean, though. No one gives an answer.
Uh-huh.
That's like when someone asks, well, how much can you give? Then they go, "Ah,
Oh,
can
you
do it."
laugh and you go, but you don't know the actual answer.
But then
Yeah,
no
yeah.
one, you're like, but
Uh-huh.
just give me, like, it's a serious question. I want to go,
And the episode where Jim pops Dwight's fitness orb, it was a complete accident. Which I don't know how that. I thought he used scissors to
I thought he did too.
pop it.
Mhm.
When Jim's consoling Dwight in the staircase, and then Jim gets up and walks away, and Dwight reaches over,
Yeah.
and then he's gone. That was completely improvised.
Oh, yeah.
wow.
Yeah, according to this.
According to this.
I'll end on that. Steve Carell left the show after 7 seasons. He was still adored by the cast so much that he'd always been number one on the call sheet. And when they left, they retired the number one and didn't appear on the call sheet ever again.
Oh, that's cool.
really cool.
That's awesome. All right. The Office.
We did
It's
it.
fun. We
Check
did it.
out.
Check it out. Go watch The Office. It's streaming right now on, where is it
We
at?
got to plug.
We gotta plug it.
number one show
Yeah,
in the world.
yeah.
I see it on Comedy Central now.
Where's it streaming, though?
It's on Peacock.
Peacock.
You can
that's
actually watch it now on Peacock with all the deleted scenes added in.
Oh,
So it's like kind of like a new show, honestly, which is pretty exciting.
yeah.
Mhm.
That's fun. Look at that. All right, everybody. Thank you. We love you as always. Also, yeah, and just a reminder, Merry Christmas. There you go. We forgot to say Merry Christmas, so we went back to do it again. So here that's how much we wanted to remind you Merry Christmas as we forgot. And so go watch The Office, streaming on Peacock. Also, celebrate Christmas. Don't forget, everybody celebrate Christmas with your family. In case you're just at home going, what's going on today?
Who's I supposed to see?
Why is everybody over here today? Why is my driveway getting full? It's Christmas. So, Merry Christmas.